If you're a new homeowner, you might not think a saw is something you really need around the house. And while you certainly don't need a big table saw like this one, you'd be surprised how handy a jigsaw can be. Here's Joe with another video in his Homeowner's Toolkit series.
You're right guys, I'm Joe from Average Joe's Joinery and this is Homeowner's Toolkit. This is a series of videos where I'm going to discuss some basic tools that I think every home should have. And this video is all about saws. Why do I need a saw? If you're planning on doing some home improvement, some DIY or even some gardening, a saw is a very useful tool to have. Whether that's installing laminate flooring or even if there's a tough branch in your garden that you need to trim down, a saw is essential for those jobs. Of course, it's not just wood that a saw will cut. Maybe you've got some metal pipe that you need to trim to length, or you've got some plastic coving that you need to fit in your living room and that needs cutting. Saws can do that job as well if you've got the right blade. There's a long list of jobs and DIY tasks that make use of a saw of some kind. What kind of saws are there? As you may have already seen, there's a wide variety of different saws available. I would really recommend sticking to the basics depending on the job you need to do. First, I'd look at some hand saws. The most basic one has got to be the panel saw. This is great for straight cuts, mainly used for wood, but it can also be used for some plastics as well. Really handy, really cheap and disposable saw. Can do a lot of jobs with that one. Then another hand saw to look at is the coping saw. Now this is great for doing delicate curves. It can also cut wood, plastics and even some metals as well, but of course you've got to have the right blade. One of the most common DIY jobs using a coping saw is fitting skirting boards. If you're doing the mitered corners, getting a nice coped edge so it fits perfectly in the joint, that's a great use for that saw. A very similar saw to a coping saw is a hacksaw. This one is ideal for cutting metals. You can cut wood and plastic too, but really metal is where this saw comes into its own. Hand saws are great and cheap and you don't have to plug them in, but it can get hard work if you're doing a lot of cuts. So here's some basic powered saws to look at. The first one I will mention is a chop or miter saw. Now these are great for doing multiple cuts. If you're doing a lot of cuts, your arms can wait doing it by hand, so having this powered saw it makes it a lot easier. These saws can only do straight cuts, you can't cut curves, but if you're doing repetitive jobs, cutting loads of boards to length, or if you're cutting miters on the coving like I mentioned earlier, it's ideal for those jobs, really quick and easy to use. Now the majority of chop and miter saws just cut wood. They might be able to cut some aluminium, but there are some saws available that will even cut steel as well, so depending on the job you need, check those out too. Another basic powered saw has got to be one of the most versatile ones. It's a jigsaw. If you haven't got a saw, this is the one that I really recommend. It's just so versatile, all the different jobs you can do. You can make straight cuts, curve cuts in wood, plastic and metal, again with the right blade. It's just a great all-round saw. It'll be able to handle almost any job you throw at it. If you'd like any more details about the individual saws that I mentioned in this video, let me know in the comments down below and I might be able to make a future video talking about them in more depth. How much do they cost? All the saws I mentioned are very reasonably priced. I'll put a list up on the screen so you can see just how much the average cost of them is. But also remember the second-hand market, especially with those powered saws, there's always a bargain to be had somewhere. I really hope you found this video helpful. There's plenty of options out there and I really think a saw is something every homeowner should have. There's just so many different DIY tasks you can accomplish with a saw. I make all sorts of things on my channel. There'll be a link down below to Average Joe's Joinery. I hope you like what I create on there and I really hope you like this video too. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, I'll answer all comments as always, and also please share this video with your friends. Maybe you know somebody who might find it helpful too. I really appreciate all the shares. Please go ahead and click that subscribe button too. There's loads of different creators on Home and Garden for Mere Mortals, so I'm sure there'll be something that you all enjoy. Thank you all for watching.